All right, so today we got Taylor coming in. I don't know what she really wants to do yet. I'm gonna show you the how of how I do it, but I'm also gonna show you the most important thing, which is the why. I can show you how to do anything, but like if you don't know the why, you're just doing things randomly. So I'm really gonna show you with these videos because this is all new for us. You get to see all the little tips and tricks and the details of it while I'm taking you through this whole thing. I hope you guys love this. Keep watching.
I feel like I'm losing some of my layers since they're also growing out, and I'm losing some of the shape around my face with this grow out.
So we're gonna take your face frame up to your chin to open up your face, take up about 1 inch of your length, which is like perfect because I know you're trying to keep it long and maybe even grow it out a little bit more. And then we're also gonna add layers throughout your hair to complement the face frame that you have as well. So you'll have movement all throughout, not just in the face frame. We're just kind of refreshing what you had before, but giving you like a good haircut. So now you can go 5 to 6 months again.
Great.
Sound good? First off, I'm gonna put a little detangling spray. Her hair is a little tangled right now. Helps strengthens and repairs hair. There is a heat protectant in it as well. So when you blow dry, you got that. Or if you use irons or anything like that, it helps. And it's also like a leave-in conditioner.
It smells so
good, right?
Yeah, it does smell really nice.
We keep it super simple with sectioning. 2 in the front and 1 in the back. So if you see, you got 2 sections in the front here. Parting basically where you want to part. She parts in the middle, so we're gonna keep it parted on the middle. If you're trying to change the part, which I don't always recommend because a lot of people go back to their original part, but can change up your haircut if you do change that up. I would always suggest that you stay on their part. It's more natural. You don't have to part in the middle. I just like to part in the middle because that's where she parts her hair. Every section that you're gonna do now is horizontal, going up about 1 inch, 1.5 inches. If you go more, you'll get caught, you'll lose your guide. Don't lose your guide, and do clean sections as well. You don't want this section into here, like over here. You want it clean. Makes it more simple, makes it a little bit easier for you to see where you're going and keeps your guide. So we're gonna take off about 1 inch. Posture is good, head down. We're gonna cut this in a U shape. With her head being down, I'm going to cut this square. When her head's down, it cuts more into a U shape when it comes up. So it's a slight U that we're going for. Next section, same thing. Like I said, her head's down. You're just gonna follow your guide across. So you're just gonna do this all the way up to the crown of her head. When you're cutting, make sure that you comb this out nicely as well. Because if this is tangled up here and it's not down here and you cut that and then you comb that out, your hair is gonna be a little longer. So make sure everything is combed out nicely. There's not much left to cut on this last 2 sections. As you can see, we're pretty much done. So now this section is just gonna drop and there's gonna be nothing left to cut in that. And let's move to the side. You're gonna have her head just like that, straight section, horizontal, clip. You're gonna pull this down. This might not even match because you're gonna end up cutting this with the face frame. You're gonna cut that little corner off right there. You want these to match, but if they don't worry. I think with her, the face frame is really short, so it takes out some of this and it gives it more of like that, like I said, that nicer U shape. So don't worry about that if it doesn't all connect on the sides. If it does, what you're gonna do is you're just gonna cut that straight across and just make it more square. With the next side, it's the same thing, horizontal sectioning. Let's see if it connects, it might not. And it's the same thing on this side as it was on the other side, doesn't really connect. So what you're gonna do is just cut that little corner off and that's it. And then you're gonna section from the back of the ear forward because we're gonna do the face frame. And this is honestly this was probably like one of the harder things for me to learn. Like I said, nice clean section from the back of the ear to the crown. Same thing on the other side. First, we're gonna establish our guide. Off our part, you're gonna take like a little triangle section, and this is gonna be your guide right at the part at the end, right there. And that is gonna be your guide for both sides, okay? We started right at her chin was like where we wanted to go. So that's gonna be right there. Just a little bit more. My left side is gonna be different than my right side, the way that I cut it. So everything going on my left side is coming towards me. My first section, I'm gonna over direct everything forward, meaning that pulling all of this going forward. So when this goes back, as I cut this, it cascades soft on the way back, right? And it creates a nice soft face frame. Make sure you have your guide and make sure to follow your guide. When you start, make sure everything's combed out nice. And you're not gonna go straight across, you're gonna go kind of carve towards you. So, and you just follow that from your last piece that you cut. You're gonna take that next section from the bottom of the ear up and then just follow this all the way down. Like I said, you're just carving though. This is your end point. So you do not wanna cut past that, right? Because you want that to be heavier. You want it to be fuller because we're not trying to go for a mullet here. We're going for a nice face frame. So we're getting to that end, boom. That is your face frame on that side. As you can see, compared to that side, how much longer that is and how nice this is. Next side, this is the other side that is a little bit more complicated. This is just the way I learned. It's not right or wrong, it's just the way that I do it and it works perfectly for me. It's basically the same thing, you're gonna over direct, so when you do lay it down and it lays to the natural, it's gonna cascade back nice and soft. The thing is I'm not pulling this forward and cutting this like this, because that's a little bit more difficult for me. So what you're gonna do is get that combed all the way out and you're gonna flip this. There's your guide right there. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna, same thing, carve that out as you go down. Take your time with this. This is not an easy cutting technique. I promise you, if you take your time, it will go a lot smoother rather than rushing this, because I have rushed and it was not the good outcome. Same thing with those corners. I'm not trying to take out these corners. So I'm just carving this out knowing that the corner is right here, because I don't want to cut past that. Like I said, we're not going for a mullet. We're going for a nice face frame. And there you go. There's your face frame on both sides. Now we're going towards layering the hair, right? But I'm gonna layer the back a little bit shorter than I do the front, and why I'm doing that, I don't wanna take away from the face frame. Sometimes that causes holes by connecting it all the way through. I don't want it to look like she has less hair in the front than she does in the back, because she has a lot of hair in the back. And it's about symmetry and balance, so that's what we're going for. You're gonna start off with your first guide. This is gonna be your guide to both sides. Pulling this straight up, checking to see where that's gonna fall. So it's gonna fall like right in there if I cut right there, right? Cutting it in a concave shape. And why I'm cutting it into a concave shape is the shortest piece is here, the longest here, making the bottom fuller. I'm not taking away from the weight of her perimeter. I don't want it to look like she has less hair at the perimeter. I want it to look like she has more hair at the perimeter with movement. Then you pie this to the next section, taking some of that guide that you used.
We're in the zone. This is your flow state.
Yeah, this is easy. All right, so pulling that straight up again. There's your guide. Boom. Let that fall. Next section. So remember, we're not going into this section right now. Okay, this is where it's gonna go a little bit longer, so I'm not using that right now. Keep your sectioning nice and clean. Even in here too, a lot of people forget to comb that out. You end up combing it out later and it's longer, and then you have problems with your layers. Guide, cut. Nice clean line. I cut it very blunt. I'm gonna go back in and soften it with my texturizing shears after. So I like cutting nice and blunt so everything's really heavy. I always go back and detail at the end. Works perfectly with this haircut. Now I'm going into that front section, right? So I'm gonna take a small little section into that and from that back section, and I'm gonna use that back section as my guide. Usually what you would do is you would there would be your guide. But instead of cutting that all off, I'm gonna cut less off, but connect it to that piece right there, which was the guide. And what that does is it leaves this longer, right? So when this goes forward, there's fullness and there's no holes. You ever cut a face frame and you have holes? Because you've pied this all the way across. So this now helps you, so you have fullness here and your face frame stays full and there's no holes. All right, so with the next section, you're gonna take a little bit of that previous section, bring that in. You're most likely, because her face frame's pretty short, you're not gonna have to cut anything. You've already kind of done your magic, kind of just softly just going through and just clean it up if I need to. And then you're done with that front face frame in that area and then the layering throughout. Now we're gonna check the haircut. And this is just to like make sure everything is pretty clean and even. Nothing is ever perfect, so sometimes it can be a little off, but it's always good to check your haircuts. Like, oh no, it's gonna be good. Sometimes it's not, you know? Sometimes it's uneven. It's okay, you have to, that's why I always check my work. From the front of the ear forward, all the way across the other side, you're gonna check to see if your layers are good. And it's pretty good, to be honest. There's not much you need to really touch up, but it's just kind of like in a V, right? Like that V shape, right? And that's what we're looking for. Okay, so that's the first check. Now from the front of the ear to the back of the ear, about that big of a section, you're gonna do it on both sides. And like I said, we're not looking for perfection here. We're just looking for if it matches up, and there you go. So a little tweak right there, and then it should be good. Now, from the back of the ear, we're gonna create a horseshoe, We're gonna create a horseshoe. It's gonna show you if it's all pretty even too and square. You're gonna pull this straight up. As you see that it's not, right? If it's not, you're just gonna cut that out. And I just point cut that. It does not need to be straight. You can blunt cut it, but I'd prefer it not, to be honest, because you're gonna go in and cut into this anyway when this is all dry. Now you have that. It doesn't have to be perfect. You know, if it's like that, you don't want it to look like that, right? You want it to be like that. Everything is established as far as the perimeter, face frame, and layers. Now it's about blow drying and then going in and detailing everything. That's what changes a good haircut from an amazing haircut, is the detail work. Right here, okay. Now that the blow dry is all done, I'm gonna go through, refine everything, softening the layers and the face frame and even the perimeter. We are using the feel shears with refining, right? Everything you do when it's wet is a rough, and then you're gonna go through and you're just gonna detail all the loose ends that get not taken care of. Front of the ear forward was this way, and the back of the ear forward. So now it's all cleaned up. It's a little bit different. I pulled this forward this time instead of flipping it because I can't do that wet. It's a little bit easier just to pull it forward. The look of the way that I just did it looks different, but the outcome isn't different. So don't worry about that. Remember, this is just refining. You're not like creating anything new. Sometimes what I'll do, if it's waved like this, I can't get it cut it as well. So I just kind of go through it, flip it, kind of like how I did the other side that one time. So now that this is all refined and cleaned up, I just want to make sure little things like this, make sure it's all clean. Because if she ever just uses these as like little front pieces to put up or whatever, so as you can see, it's all matched up. So it's all good. Now it's about the detail as far as softening now. You're gonna basically go through the exact way you layered the hair and you're gonna cut into it. I don't want her hair to be choppy. This will make this look soft and blended. That same section down the middle, right? You start at the bottom and you're gonna round everything all the way up. These are the thinning shears, right? These take out about 25%. I like that. Doesn't take out much, and if you need to go in more, you can go in more. You don't want to take out a ton and then be like, damn, I wish I would have left more. These are amazing. They cut through hair like butter. Like I said, I'm rounding as I go. Right when I get to the top, you can see how blunt that is, how heavy that is. So what we're gonna do, instead of going all the way through and just pulling out all the way through, I like to detail it kind of in its own way. Sometimes these like shorter pieces that are, you can see that are thinned out, get even more thinned out. You kind of want to detail it in your own way visually by seeing things, because hair is not all one length and has a mind of its own sometimes. It's a lot softer. Super simple, super easy. Don't overthink hair cutting. Don't overthink thinning shears. If you don't use thinning shears, you can always point cut. I'm not a big point cutter. Nothing wrong with it. I just don't do it. It's not as consistent as with thinning shears, in my opinion. So here we go. Start at the bottom, take out a little bit. Next section, rounding it out. And here you don't need to take out much. So now you're starting to see like how soft everything looks over here, right? Remember where you cut into the hair. Don't bring this whole section into this next section where you're gonna cut into this section, because you'll end up cutting shorter pieces. You might even end up layering the hair more. You always wanna visually look at it where you're cutting into it and remember that. Nice and full. And what we're gonna do is just soften and detail, nice and soft, right? The front, I'm not trying to soften the ends as far as the perimeter. Since we cut a lot shorter of a face frame, I don't need to soften that more. I do need to soften the layer part of it because this is heavy. Next section, same thing. Don't need to do it too much either on this side, but I can see it's softer in here, like density wise, than it is right there. You can see the fullness in here. I'm not gonna thin this out more because then I'm just gonna create, like I said, less hair for that. I'm actually gonna soften this in here. I'm not trying to make this less, right? You can almost take that out. Now you can see like how soft everything is. Like I said with the last side, the other side, I'm not doing the perimeter of this. I don't need to, it's already soft. That's the thing with cutting into hair. A lot of it is visual. It's not paint by number. You know, you don't want to just cut into hair because you saw somebody cutting into hair. The why of it is to see like, oh, why? Is there less hair here? Okay, maybe I shouldn't cut into that section. You know, like, is it color damaged? Is it, you know, there's all these different things of like why you want to look at the hair before you just start cutting into it. Also visually just seeing if you pull something up and it doesn't look full, you don't need to cut into it more. It's not a technique as far as like, you know, following a guide all the way through. It's literally a visual thing, in my opinion. I remember there was a guy that I used to work for that was very visual, and I didn't understand it at first. And then once I started really like cutting into hair and understanding it, it made sense. So visually, look at what you're cutting into before you do it with thinning shears. Now everything's super soft. We're just shaking it out a little bit using your hands. I don't love using combs or brushes all that much to brush anything out. And I'm gonna use just a little bit of texture spray. It's my texture spray called Sex Hair. It's amazing. I don't need much. I'm just using a little bit. Like I said, it's not anything crazy. It's a very soft and pliable texture spray, which is great. Also gonna throw a little bit of our hair oil mist, and this just adds a little bit of shine to it. With the combo between the texture spray, which gives you like that texture, a little bit of grit, the oil gives it that shine, sheen kind of feel too, which, you know, I grew up at the beach. I love that kind of like second, third day look of hair. And that kind of gives it that a little bit without taking away from it being, you just got to blow dry and you just got your hair done. Here we go. This is the end result.
Oh my God. It looks so full.
Yeah.
It looks way more full from when I walked in.
Of course.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So this is the result of your face frame being taken up, cutting into it, taking the length up just a little bit, and then just using our boar bristle brush to give you that soft, like undone, loose wave, which is amazing in my opinion. Because like I said, this is no iron, no nothing. This is just a brush, which I personally like love the best because this will last you a little bit longer than I think an iron would. And then with the right products, like as you saw, we used a detangling spray, we used a little bit of a blow dry cream, we use a texture spray and the hair oil, and your hair still doesn't look like you have a ton of product in it or anything like that, right? And that's the good thing. Yeah, it's super light and great. So that's it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right, you guys, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what else you guys want to see, because we're gonna be coming out with videos nonstop. So thank you guys for watching. Thanks for love and support.